Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And I'm back with part 8 of What If Naruto Had Frieza Potential and Personality, guys. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 more channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Symbol, guys. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode? Let's begin now, guys. So the last part we left off, we get to see how Naruto actions unfold within Konoha while he was out, creating an army. As Jiraiya was silent, as the council was debating there, the envoys that were there to give an eyewitness told everything they saw. From the moment it was revealed who he was, that the child already knew about his parentage and used that to get one up on them. It showed that he was insanely smart. More and more, he was able to go around them, trick them, as they found themselves at a loss. And now, here they were. The problem like never before. The Uchiha ear was taken. Not only that though, the Sanjin Juliki was also taken as well. They had no idea what he would do with those powers, but just thinking about the Sharingan and two Jinjuliki's powers, it was terrifying, very much so. But for right now, the village needed leadership, control. But Jiraiya stated that he wasn't fit for the position. Thus, he went to find the leader of the village, which was Lady Snevy. While that was going on, the sun was at the weakest that it's ever been, and things were not looking so good, not in the slightest. They needed proper structure, and they needed power, so they turned to their ally, Konoha, for strength. But Konoha was not in a powerful position right now, but standing together would allow them to remain solid. We then finally got to see Gaara awaken. Even his hair was different. He questioned Naruto on what he did to him. In the previous episode we got to see Kabuto, who had flocked to Naruto's side now. He was experimenting with Naruto's chakra. Gaara was no longer a Jinchuriki. The tail beast had been removed. Most of the power was still there, because it was piggybacking off of Naruto's own chakra that replenished itself with Gaara's tail beast state. But the tail beast was removed. But Gaara was different now, as Naruto brought some people for him to test himself against. We got to see Gaara break his body down into sand and use himself as a living weapon. He was terrifying. Finally, Naruto allowed Sasuke to wake up, confused and angry, but Naruto rather publicly deride and shame him, humiliation breaking his pride. That is when he offered Sasuke power beyond his wildest imagination, power that can make him strike down Itachi without hesitation. Sasuke didn't want to go back to Konoha. He didn't want to be weak anymore, so He took it. As everything was taking place, Tsunade came back to Konoha, taking the position, as there was a lot there for she to unpack. But this Naruto situation was much bigger than they thought. Jiraiya headed out, destined to find him. Tsunade questioned him on what he would do. If the village was in jeopardy, he would make the decision and end it once and for all. Years passed by, but still nothing. Sakura trained under Tsunade, wanting to be strong enough to stop Naruto and bring Sasuke back. 3 long years of nothing had many wondering what was going on, until the news of Orochimaru's death surfaced, and who was the one that killed him. The situation was more dangerous now. Had he truly become that strong enough to kill someone like Orochimaru? They question. We get to see Naruto in action, having grown up a lot. His first course of action was to attack a neutral zone that no great nation or minor nation would dare to attack, due to something that happened in the past where everyone wanted this piece of land. But they decide to compromise and leave it alone. But in just under an hour, his people swept through, killing hundreds from many other villages because it was a tourist destination, and he allowed a member of each village to survive and run home to inform their people. It was time that he finally acted. The news spread like wildfire across the elemental nation. But that was not all. Jiraiya went to meet up with some of his contacts, not yet aware. But when he arrived, though, he saw their bodies painted against the wall. The words were left for him. Stop chasing me. I will find you soon enough. Naruto has finally made his debut, stepping out into the world. So yeah guys, basically that's where I left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So yeah, let's begin this now guys. Word travel fast within the elemental nation, especially when it is something this shocking. Every village had taken a stand not to go after that piece of land, to just keep a sense of peace between the nations. And over time it had stand tall, hearing that it was attacked, due to the fact that many went there to relax. It was a high tourist spot after all. But every single person that was not originally from that place was killed, except for one, sent back to all of their homes. Konoha, Kumo, the Stone, Kiri, the Sand, and several other minor villages. Every single leader was currently having a discussion with that one member, who seemed to be traumatized from what they'd been through. They all basically say the said stuff. They came in like an army of death. No question. Nothing. They just started a massacre, taking people down. No hesitation. No remorse. And then they were all lined up. Questions about their village of origin. And that is when they saw him. They could not describe proper words what he truly was, but they did describe his features though. His flowing, strange purple blonde hair, his glowing purple eyes, his very step seeming to bring a dread sensation of death. He approached. One by one, he massacred everyone except for one from each village. With his own hands, he had his subordinates pry their eyes open so they could see it. The few that he chose to live, so they could witness it all. And then he sent them back, making sure they got there safely, so they could tell their leaders. Every single leader realized what this meant. This was a declaration of war. This person has just trampled on a law that has been set by all the nation, showing that he was above it. And he surely doesn't give a damn. This is not the first time that people like this has rise, but to this extent. But something had to be done though, because every village lost a lot of people. Thus, as he told them his name, with his title as well, Emperor Naruto, he became a target for everyone. Konoha already had their discussion, but all the other nations out there, even the minor nations, start to gather their people. This one single event triggered a catastrophic event all over the elemental nation, and Naruto was on the chopping block. Well, that is what they thought. While that was going on, Jiraiya stood in front of the flames. He burned the entire place. No one should see this. The atrocity committed in there. He erased it. Naruto went out of his way to eviscerate everyone in the bar, and that was the perfect word. He pulled them apart, painting their blood on the wall. The Sani knew that he had to make a difficult choice, but now he knew there was no going back, no fixing that monster. He has to die. And it started. It started from one end, the land of snow. A powerful village due to their technology, not in terms of their manpower. However, Doto Kazahana, the man that has run his own niece out of the country due to him killing her father, was now on his knees, his head touching the ground. Stepping on the back of his skull was Naruto, as Doto trembled in fear. Am I understood? Naruto questioned. Yes. Yes, what? Yes, sir, Doto said. Good, said Naruto, removing his feet. You may rise. This village now belongs to me, Naruto said, turning as he walked. To his left was Gurren. To his right was Haku. As Naruto arrived outside, stepping on the icy dune, looking down, Naruto saw the Sound Four. They've all matured. They've all grown. Naruto also saw the group of snow ninjas. Every single one of them taking a knee. They can't fight it. They had to give in. And just like that, his army expanded. In the next couple of days, troops were manned by the Raikage and the Tishikage, and also by Meitarumi. A lot of innocent people, powerful people were killed while they were at the resort. Their people demand justice. To think that the one that committed this atrocity wasn't even connecting to any great nation. That is what they thought at first until they learned who he truly was. It was a shocker. He was a son of Minato Namikaze, a man that put fear in so much of their hearts. His son turned out to be a monster. Also the one to kill Orochimaru. The bingo books were updated. Naruto's name was at the top of every village list. Every single one of them that he's wronged. Ninja starter came out of the woodwork. Mercenaries, assassins. Unfortunately for them though, they could not even get within 100 miles before utter annihilation. The man that governed over the land of Rice Field, which was now the land of Sound, was under Naruto's control. It wasn't hard. Power is what control and rule this world. There were structures being built, monuments being raised within Naruto's name and his empire to be unveiled, statues of his greatness. He liked looking at his face. The most scary part about all of this was that made some people take a cautious step. His location was on public display. He wasn't hiding. The Raikage, a paranoid individual, was cautious about that. But he sent that entire platoon. They were there to gather information, to understand what is going on. And he was not the only one. But his people got there first. But they found themselves detected, despite how skilled they were. It was 6 of them. The whole squad was not yet given permission to attack. This group was skilled in evading and gathering information. However, all of them felt something off as the main sensor. He could not pinpoint where it was coming from. It felt like they were being surrounded by thousands, but that was not the case. They started to see their breath. The air was becoming so cold. Their body trembled. What do we have here? They turned. She stood there, her clothing matching Naruto aesthetic. Different from the other, foot soldiers. Perfect for moving around but looking more regal and professional. Haku has truly grown into a splendid, amazing young woman. Just as beautiful, just as ruthless. They all rose ready to fight, but she simply smiled. They couldn't afford to be caught. A signal was given as they all split apart, surrounded and taken down. However, she merely stepped forward. Ice spread within less than a second. Their reaction time was good as they jumped in the air, but what they weren't prepared for was the ice to explode outwards, ripping through 5 of them. Only one survived, but without his arm. He was shocked, watching his friends, his comrades, mutilated on ice spikes. Haku stepped towards him. These guys were powerful and yet taken out so easily, showing the difference between your ice speed and their reaction. And that was just the tip of it. While not the best, they were still powerful. She stomped in his face, knocking him out. When he woke up, the bleeding had stopped, but he was still without an arm. He thought it all to be a dream until he found himself in a long, massive, regal location. Everything looking so top of the line, as he saw someone sitting on a throne. He picked himself up, gazing around, but they were alone, just like any operatives, moving in a mission where it was supposed to be quiet. He was without insignia, without headband, without anything to represent his village. Finally, Naruto got off the throne. His presence, terrifying, suffocating. He's grown so much, taller, stronger. His clothing was the number 1, set as a leader. He stepped forward, the purple, white and black, swaying along with his move. Naruto reached and gripped onto the guy's face, holding him up with one hand. He tried to use his other hand to hit Naruto, and he thought he was successful until he saw a tail holding onto it. The tail made from purely chakra. Tell me, where have you come from? Which one of them decided to act? Who sent you? He spat, but it never reached Naruto though. But he did smile. Outside, as the guards stood at the door, they heard it. A blood-chilling scream. When they were notified as they stepped inside, summon my elite guards. It's time I send another message and get that thing out of here. On the ground, the guy was in pieces, and bring someone to clean the place up. Naruto said, wiping his hands off as he tossed the cloth down to the ground. Time skip. 2 random towns within the land of lightning. It was a peaceful day. People going about their business. Yes, he was brave enough to strike the unoccupied land that was not being protected. But here, he wouldn't do something like a young lady was walking until she saw the sky went dark. Well, she thought it was a sky. But no, it was a boulder 10 times larger than any at least 6 to 7 bedroom house. The boulder was thrown by Jirobo. She screamed, but no matter of running could get her out of there fast enough. She, along with countless others, were squashed. But that was just the beginning. The sound force sped through the village. Tayuya, play her melody. However, the sound was causing people to drop to their knees, their mind imploding. The fluctuation of the chakra pattern breaking their very thoughts. But it did not stop there. Kidamaru opened his mouth, a toxin like a spider. It seeped from his throat. The purple toxin swept over the area. People scream and claw at their face. Their very inside was burning apart. They start to puke up everything, dropping to their death. Seikon and Ukon slammed their hand into the ground. 5 massive gates appeared and folded on one another, wiping out buildings, crushing centers. Man, woman, and child were eradicated, and thus they did for the other village. By the time the forces arrived to help, all that was left for them was a flag with its insignia on it. Emperor Naruto. Word immediately reached the Raikage. At the loss of communication with his people, and now this. The man punches decks into pieces. Rage. Under his watch, 2 villages with nothing but innocents were wiped out. Countless dying. Countless mutilated. Ripped apart, shredded. It was brutal. Chaotic. The Raikage lost it. He called for a meeting. No longer would there be any secret attack. This was a full-on time to conquer and destroy. No way would he stand for this kind of insult. He gathered his people. The news spread. Jiraiya returned back to Konoha at the moment. He sat with Tsunade, telling her the horrific sight that he saw. Even he was traumatized. A man that has been alive and been through so much. Tsunade saw it. There was no redemption. This monster has to be killed. And Jiraiya did not hesitate. He simply agreed with her. When Sakura heard how bad it's gotten, she questioned him if he saw Sasuke, but he hasn't, which made her worry that Sasuke wasn't. She shook her head. No, she won't believe that, she told herself. They will find Sasuke, she told herself. While that was going on, 2 very powerful men was having a conversation. Nagato speaking through his puppet, Pain. Sitting across was the man that hid his face behind that mask. Powerful, intimidating. So what shall we do? about this movement that is being made. I suggest that we do nothing. Toby said, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki is causing problems, chaos. He's made a very bold claim on the world. Conquer, assimilate. If the rumors are true, and his power is as great as it is, the other nations will have no choice but to bring forward their tail beasts to fight him. And we will be there. We will be prepared, and we will strike. I already have Zetsu monitoring the situation. I doubt he would set his sights on this place yet. But eventually, if it is to assimilate and conquer all, if he does come here, what is a man to a god? Toby said. Exactly. Pain said. So for now, we shall wait. The location of the One-Tails is still unknown, within his possession as we fear. We will get the information when the time is right. As both men agreed, both of them chasing a different goal. Both of them not truly trusting one another. Time skip. It did not take too long. An atrocity like this cannot stand. In just a couple of days, the Raikage gathered 10,000 plus men, using overwhelming force. They will sweep through the Sound Village. Due to the location, it was very accessible. However, Naruto has made it that way because when Orochimaru ruled it, the Sound Village was hidden underground. But now it was up, monuments and statues rising in his name. But monuments and statues were also being placed all over, in the recent conquered land that no one should touch, in the Snow Village, and several others. This was an atrocity that could not stand for too long, as 3 days ago, Guren, the Sound 4 and Haku swept through the Netsuko village. And now, every Kunoichi there, well, what was left of them, had to bow under Naruto's rule. More forces were joining his army. The Raikage wasn't a fool though, to just walk all of them into a trap. They would split into different commands, but they will surround and they will conquer. What none of them was expecting though, due to Naruto not showing up or even making a move out in public yet, well, for their view, none of them expect for him to just suddenly show up. Yes, show up alone. That was the most frightening thought. Realization struck over 3,000 plus shinobis. As they were being split into different units, the others had yet to emerge. At the coast of the Land of Lightning, sensors went crazy when they felt the anomaly, when they felt the force. They gazed into the sky and there he stood, like a benevolent being, like a god, came to cast judgment on them all, came to cast judgment on their very soul. Many were shocked. However, things became more problematic when he let loose. The goddamn sky changed. Sensors fall to their knees, blacking out. He changed the goddamn weather. Word started to rush back to Kumo. The moment the Raikage got it, he exploded through his window, leaping, going 100% as he dashed across his village, wanting to face this threat head on. However, Naruto was here for one purpose, a show of strength, a show of might. That is why he was alone. Naruto raised his finger into the sky, his power magnifying even more. Absolute chakra death ball. He shouted. Naruto created a spear of energy so large It blocked out the goddamn sun. Weapons drop. Defenses fall. The Raikage, who was blazing toward the scene, despite the distance, came to a stop as he saw it. Impossible. At least 10 times larger than any tail beast bomb. And within that crowd there was absolutely no Jinjulikis. One of the very senior officers shouted. He shouted towards everyone. Fight back, he screamed. Some muster up the courage. But for some it was a lot. There were 3,000 plus of them, launching all kind of jutsus. Fire, lightning, wind, earth. However, Naruto's iconic smile filled the skies as he dropped it. However, their energy, combined of all of their power, stopped his attack. They start to push back, which gave the others hope, which caused them to push and push and push. That was until Naruto smirked. So much power was released, the air itself became tainted, suffocating as Naruto released another one inside of the first, breaking through every defense, every wall. The explosion lit up the entire place. Despite the distance, Raikage had to hunker down. Buildings within his village were wiped away. The coastline was erased. Thousands upon thousands within the land of lightning as the mountains collapse. Debris crushing, the backlash of the jutsu wiping people away, incinerating them down to the bones. As for the 3,000 plus, they were gone. Just like that. None of them possessing a power like a tail beast to fight him off. They were erased. Gone. What remained was a crater that could not see the bottom. The bottom was nowhere to be seen. As the moment the second attack had hit, the explosion had been deafening. Those who survived, they were permanently deaf. The sound itself rupturing every eardrum. Even those that were a distance off, the backlash, wounding them severely. It was only because of his very powerful body, cloaked in the 100% of his power. The Raikage found himself in the side of a broken building, picking something off him when he realized it was the arm of a child. He looked horrified. He got to his feet, his ears ringing, looking around, trying to make sense of it all. When Naruto landed right in front of him, it was like shotting fish in a barrel. How much was that? But the Raikage could not hear him because of the ringing ears. Naruto kicked him in the face, breaking his nose and launching him through several buildings. The Raikage slowly picked himself up. Naruto grabbed him by the hair and flew into the sky and tossed the man like a bullet, his body crushing several people as he fell. Naruto hovered above him, the Raikage trying to get his bearings in, but due to the hearing damage, because of his strength, because of his lightning cloak, his hearing wasn't permanently lost. But the equilibrium, his movements, he could not stand up properly because of his inner ear, and the sound, everything was affecting him. Naruto stood above him. He simply smiled before flying off, not doing a single thing more to the village. There was no bones, no remains left to bury. The people were just gone. Word spread. The realization, every people pulled their ninjas back. The stone, the sand, Konoha, Kiri, the minor villages, They knew that he was strong, but the more and more the story was retold, the more horrific it became. And everyone was terrified. Jiraiya sat with Snatty. Something needs to be done. No one village can fight him alone. Something has to be done. Instead of spying on Naruto, word was sent to the others. They had to work together. And this came from the Hidden Leaf village. Meanwhile, my oh my, Toby was witnessing the scene of destruction, the scene of chaos, as he gazed into the abyss of that giant crater. He couldn't even see the bottom. Zetsu was speechless. Zetsu hailed from a long time before all of this. He was used to power, being destructive, but this. Power like this should not exist in these days. Especially from an unknown that just came out of nowhere and became so powerful. There was many problems at this rise for Zetsu. Many problems that would affect his plan of reviving his mother. But nothing will get in his way. Meanwhile, Naruto stepped within a chamber area, but the place was large. Almost like a zoo. Creatures behind glasses. Mutation. Inhuman. Standing there in a white coat. The representation with the purple and black there as well was Kabuto. Different. Everything about him seemed more different. "How is things going down here?" said Naruto. "I had a breakthrough," Kabuto said. "Follow me." As Naruto walked with him, they stepped past many inhuman creatures. One of them made purely from bones. Literally, the composition of its body was made from bones. If it wasn't for chakra, it shouldn't be alive. As they made their way down and arrived, Kabuto brought Naruto to an area where Naruto gazed behind the glass. Behind the glass was a small creature. Its fur purple. It had 4 tails behind it, each of them a purple flame on the end. It was a success, Kabuto said. The chakra is perfectly stable and replenishing. Our first successful tail beast. With this, the opportunity is endless. Naruto turned towards him. "Wonderful," he said. What Kabuto praised? The recognition, the acceptance. Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. "I told you," he said. "You have greatness inside of you. When it's not being held back or snuffed out by your so-called masters. Look at what you've accomplished. The first, since the Sage of Six Paths, to create a tail beast. With your help, of course," Kabuto said. "If this wasn't for you, take your praise," Naruto said. "You've done well. And this is only just the beginning. The true start is just upon us." Kabuto smiled. We later find Naruto arriving to a different area. The creatures from before, these ones were larger, but they were all killed. The weapon that slashed them was a blade. Very special blade though. As Naruto stepped into the chamber, the blade was swinging towards him, but he stopped it with a finger. Naruto smiled, knocking the blade away. His hair was longer. There was a slash on his cheek, making him look more dangerous. His 3-totem Sharingan standing out. "Well, seems like you've evolved towards a stronger level." Sasuke's Sharingan was not the same. The red of his eyes were now purple, and the black of his eyes were now white. Naruto had made true on his promise. As Sasuke offered him his loyalty, Naruto offered him power, turning him into something more dangerous. He clenched his fist. It's time. I've grown strong enough, he said. I can kill him now. Don't you worry. That pretty little head of yours, said Naruto. We have our people hunting your brother. It's only a matter of time before we do find him. And then, you will finally get your chance at revenge. Let's hope you don't waste it, said Naruto, walking away. But Sasuke's mind was only focused on Itachi. If it means sacrificing his sense of loyalty, serving a master who granted him this power, Sasuke did not care. He will have his revenge. So many things are moving within Naruto's favor, as the world is now aware of his power, now aware of how truly terrifying he actually is, now aware that they had to come together to crush him. Monuments were being raised in other villages. Every single one that took a knee, a statue of Naruto was erected in his honor. Majority twisting together from crystal and ice. That was forever, never melt, never broken, until the people have to come together and forge it with their own hands. The true sign of conquer. Those who remain have to come together and build a statue of him. For now, a crystal ice statue take its place. But there were hundreds, up to thousands now, building a statue in his honor. After all, it was the only thing that stand between them and utter annihilation. However, for Naruto, the fun has just begun. At Konoha, word came back from all the other nations, and each and every one of them accepted. There was many things that they were lacking. Information about this enemy. His origins came from Konoha, but he was just as enemy to them as everyone else. That most of them believe. However, they need a neutral spot. Thus, the land of iron was chosen, nominated to be the spot where they will all gather. What none of them knew were under the scenes, watching patiently, clad in his Kiri uniform and his headband. He was a Kiri ninja after all. But what none of them expect was for him to send word to his true leader. As word made its way right to Naruto's hand, delivered to him by Haku, Naruto took the note. I see. They're falling right into his palms. He wanted them to come together. That is the main reason why the Raikage wasn't dead. Naruto wanted them to feel hopeless. That is why he flexed his power and eradicated those ninjas. And now they were all going to join up. It seems he has a meeting to attend. Naruto's throne started to dislodge itself and hovering. His power causing his throne to hover, creating a perfect chair for him to rest on. The sound for Guren and Haku by his side, him within his hovering chair, made their way to attend the meeting for the fate of this so-called world. But guys, to be in subs right here. If you want to see the next part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. All of the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family, guys. So without further ado or wasting more time, let's get the hell out of here. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.